What's up, you guys? I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for cooking with Adrianne and Latrice. So today I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I'm making like an Asian inspired dish. It's called chili and sesame noodles. I have some organic spaghetti noodles, some bok choy, which kind of look like collard greens a little bit. We have the green onions. I like to mix up different mushrooms or use whatever I have in my refrigerator. You're going to need like some sort of measuring spoons. So you will need some sesame seeds. You got some kind of ginger. I have the ginger powder, some garlic and chili oil, some soy sauce, some rice vinegar oil, and some sort of teriyaki sauce, and of course some olive oil. All right, here we go, you guys. If you're feeling like you want to eat some Asian food and stay inside, then this is the video for you. 100% vegan. Let's get the cooking. Okay, so what I've went ahead and done is take a large pot, and what I've done is added olive oil and salt. The purpose of adding olive oil and salt to your water while it's boiling is it'll prevent those noodles from sticking together, and so this is very helpful, and you want to go ahead and just let that boil. What I've also done is washed off my bok choy and my green onions, get them nice and clean, because sometimes the bok choy will have like brown substances at the bottom or certain things on the leaves, so you definitely want to get those clean thoroughly. So right now I'm just rinsing my mushrooms. You definitely want to get those a good wash as well. Okay, so I added my noodles to the pot of boiling water. Another reason I like the large pots is because you can add your noodles whole, and eventually the water is going to make it so soft that it's going to go down into the water without a problem. So now I have my mushrooms over here. I went ahead and cut them and washed them again. Let me go ahead and add that to the pot of noodles. Okay, and you can boil the noodles until it's al dente, which means like pretty soft, not too gumby, perfectly done. You don't want to overcook the noodles. Okay, so I have a large spoon. I'm just going to push those noodles down in there. This is after like 1 minute. You can already tell that the noodles are falling down into the pot. And go ahead and let that boil. Be sure to check on it every couple of minutes and stir it and feel for your noodles to make sure it's not overcooking. Okay, so after about 5 or 6 minutes, as you can see, the noodles are getting nice and soft, but it's still not done. Now, some may not recommend doing this, but what I do is I take one hand and grab a piece of noodle and squeeze it. If that noodle breaks apart easily, then it's done. If it's still too solid or gumby, then it may not be done. So for me, mine is not done, so I'm going to keep letting that boil. I also went ahead and chopped up a couple pieces of this bok choy. You do not need the whole bundle, maybe just like 4 to 5, because you don't want it to be too much bok choy inside of your noodles. So this is after like 4 or 5 pieces that I chopped. Okay, I went ahead and chopped up some green onions. I used maybe like 6 or 7, so I'm going to save the rest along with my extra bok choy. So as you can see, it's just a reasonable amount depending on the size of your noodles that you're making. I'm making an actual large amount, so I wanted to have a pretty significant amount of bok choy and green onions. So you can kind of just play it by your instinct based on how much you're making. Okay, so my noodles is just about 1 minute or 2 of being done. So I'm going to go ahead and add in that bok choy. Bok choy cooks pretty quickly, so you definitely want to add it in within a few minutes of your noodles actually being done. And if you're unsure, it's okay. If your noodles are done, it'll be okay to cook it 1 extra minute. Just try not to exceed too many minutes after it's done, because it'll get kind of gummy and dry out and things like that. Okay, so I have my noodles over here nice and ready with the bok choy and the mushrooms. Now on low heat, I'm going to take some sesame seeds and go ahead and roast them for like 2 minutes. You could just pour maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons in there. For me, I like a little extra. Okay, so I poured some sesame seeds in there, and you could just take a spoon and go ahead and just kind of stir it in for a couple minutes. No oil is necessary, at least 2 minutes. You don't want to burn your sesame oils or you don't want to burn your sesame seeds. So 2 minutes should be enough time. Just take a spoon and kind of stir it up. So you can leave your sesame seeds in here no longer than 2 minutes on low heat and just kind of stir it in. What I'm doing now is just giving it a light roast before we add all of our other sauces. Okay, so after roasting my sesame seeds for like 2 minutes, I went ahead and added my green onions. While the green onions are added in, you could go ahead and add like 1 tablespoon of olive oil. The olive oil will just keep it from sticking. So once you add that olive oil, just go ahead and stir that in for like a minute or 2. Let those green onions simmer with your sesame seeds. Okay, now we're going to add in some of those ingredients, starting with the ginger. I like to add a little bit extra ginger, but 2 tablespoons should be enough. I have the sprinkler, so I'm actually just going to sprinkle it in there, but you guys could add at least 2 tablespoons of ginger. Okay, so since I am making a large amount, I'm going to add at least 6 tablespoons of the soy sauce. Okay, now I'm going to add at least 4 tablespoons of the rice vinegar. Okay, so I really love the sesame teriyaki sauce from the ingredients. I love that sesame teriyaki sauce. So I'm actually going to add 4 to 5 tablespoons of the teriyaki sauce to give it that nice sweet flavor. Now the last ingredient is going to be the garlic chili. I'm going to add 4 to 5 tablespoons of that. Okay, so I have my fire kind of medium low, and what I want to do with all of my sauces is just mix it in. Just give it like a good sear for around 3 to 5 minutes, just to get everything mixed together and get those flavors coming in with each other. So you want to stir occasionally for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we're going to add this delicious sauce over to our delicious noodles. So I've decided to go ahead and make some garlic bread with it. I have these garlic knots. It is so delicious. You can set your oven to like 350 or 375 and bake it in the oven for like 5 to 10 minutes. Be sure to check it in between time and make sure it's soft enough for you and brown enough before you take it out the oven. Alright, you guys, so I'm checking back on my sauce after a few minutes. As you can see, it has a nice boil, and I've just been continuously stirring it. All of the flavors and the sauces had enough time to come together. So now we're going to go ahead and pour this on top of the noodles. Okay, you guys, so I've actually poured all of my noodle sauce inside of the noodles. So now, as you can see, I'm just mixing it in to the noodles. Now, it may not look like a lot of sauce, but all of these Asian ingredients are very potent. So you'll definitely get that taste after you start mixing in all of your sauces with the noodles. So just give it a good stir to make sure everything is in there. Okay, you guys, here's my finishing product. And here's my garlic rolls that I've made it with. This meal is so simple and so delicious. Thank you guys once again for cooking with Adrianne Latrice. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I truly appreciate your support. See you later.